Let's synchronize because
I've got 5:30. Yep.
I have 5:32.
Right at 5:30.
Yep. Maybe he's caught in traffic, such as it is.
There was an accident on Glassford, or on 69 between Glassford and Prescott. That's long gone now.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're committed to, we need to start, correct?
I think so, yeah.
The August 22nd, 2022 meeting of the Prescott Valley Board of Adjustment is now called to order. For the information of the public, the Board of Adjustment is an impartial body made up of residents of the town of Prescott Valley who volunteer their time and efforts and are guided by state and local rules and regulations. When you address the board, please state your name and address for the record. Only one person may speak at a time, and all remarks must be addressed to the board as a whole. I will now recognize staff members for the town of Prescott Valley: Fernando Gonzalez, Community Services Director, Ms. Kelly Campbell and Ms. Carmela David, both administrative staff members. May I ask for a roll call?
Chairperson Shimon.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Van Boeing. Member Evans.
Here.
Member Kunish.
Here.
Member Carson.
Here.
Since the full five-member board is not present, I state the following. To the applicants in the audience, we do not have a full board present at tonight's meeting. Pursuant to Article 1329060, you have the right to request that your item be deferred to a future meeting date when a full five-member board is present. A board approval or denial requires a majority vote. The motion will not pass if there are less than a majority of affirmative votes. Please make this request known before we hear your application. I ask now for any material changes or modifications to the June 27th, 2022 minutes. None being offered, I ask for a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May we have a voice call vote?
Member Carson.
Yes.
Member Kunish.
Yes.
Member Evans.
Yes.
Chairperson Shimon.
Yes. I ask for any announcements from staff or fellow board members.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to introduce other staff members in the audience, if I may. We have Fatima Fernandez. She is our town clerk. We have Stephen Zrake. He is our deputy town attorney. And Pat Reese, actually our new code enforcement supervisor. Thank you.
I will now read into the record the first item on the agenda. Use permit UP 22005. Upon the application of Susan Reg, owner, a request for a use permit per section 1306020A8B5 of the Town of Prescott Valley zoning ordinance to operate a pet grooming business. The subject property is located at 8084 East Yavapai Road, Prescott Valley Unit 1, Lot 104, APN number 103-22104. Mr. Gonzalez, may we have your report?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, this actually parcel is zoned R1L, residential single family, and the property, this is actually a renewal of an existing application. The business is currently in place. We had this before you 2 years ago. You approved this use. It is allowed use in the R1L zoning district with a conditional use. We typically allow the use to continue for 2 years and then renewal soon after that, as long as there is no violations of town code. With that being, and we haven't had any. It is important to note. So with that said, staff is recommending the commission, or Board of Adjustment Commission, approve UPN 22-005, as long as it meets all town standards and continues in good standing. Thank you.
Have any board members questions for Mr. Gonzalez? Hearing none, the applicant is given the opportunity to address the board, and I do not believe the applicant is present. We will open the item to comment from the public. Hearing none, we bring the matter back to the board for discussion. Fellow board members, have we anything to discuss with this?
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Hearing no discussion, I ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 1, UP 22-005, with the conditions noted.
I would second that. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Member Carson,
Yes.
Member Kunish,
Yes.
Member Evans,
Yes.
Chairperson Shimon.
Yes. Moving now to the second item on the agenda, APL 22001. Upon the application of J. Ebby, agent for Patriot Disposal, Inc., owner, a request for an appeal under provisions of Section 1329050 of the Town of Prescott Valley zoning ordinance, appealing the notice and order issued by the Development Services Director regarding a violation of Town Code Section 1319060, plans required in PAD procedures on applicant's property located at the corner of East Florentine Road and North Mendocino Drive in the Big Sky Business Park, Unit 1, APN number 402-14688E. Mr. Gonzalez, may we have the staff report, please?
If I may, Chair, the applicant is here for this. Since we do not have a full board, may I ask the applicant if he'd like us to?
Yes, please.
Yes, I'd like to continue.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members. As you mentioned, the property is on Mendocino Drive in Florentine. It is in the Big Sky Business Park. The applicant did have a piece of property there that he's using in conjunction with his business, Patriot Disposal. He's using the parcel behind that property as a staging area for vehicles and other items. We had, the Code Enforcement Division received a complaint in regards to that use. An investigation ensued. We went out and found that the property was in violation. In further research, we found that the property is zoned C3 PAD. That's Commercial Minor Industrial with the PAD overlay. The PAD overlay requires the applicant to submit a plan or a site plan for approval through the town council. We did do research on that, found that there was no application filed with the department, no approval was done. We went through our notification process. We sent a first notice, second notice. We started this almost a year ago today, actually a little over a year ago today, when we first initiated contact with the property owner. After moving through the process, we gave them a number of extensions as well. That's why it's taking over a year. Ultimately, we didn't find compliance on the property. We were forced to issue a citation. The citation did go to the hearing officer. The hearing officer found him guilty or found him not in compliance, and there was a fine associated with that. Due to that citation or that hearing, the department issued what we typically do as a notice and order, giving the violation or the property owner the ability or a certain time frame to bring the property in compliance. Then we would ultimately move forward with abating the property. And that was the reason we issued the notice and order. So staff feels proper procedure was done. We gave the applicant ample time to address the concerns or the issues or the violations of town code. And therefore, staff is asking the board to deny the use, the appeal, APL 22-001. I'd be happy to answer any questions you would have at this time.
I do have a question about the issuance of the citation.
Yes.
Looking at the packet, it does indicate that a hearing was scheduled for May 23rd, 2022, that the citation was delivered via certified mail and signed for on April 29th, 2022, but it's indicating that the citation was issued on June 27th, 2022.
Yes.
When was that citation issued? Is that the correct date?
That is the correct date. It was the time that the hearings are usually, so it must have been at the end of the run of the hearing that it didn't meet the next meeting, so it was actually scheduled for the meeting after.
Okay.
And I have that up on your screen as well. Actually have, these are photographs of the parking of the vehicles, and you can see other items parked there. And you can see that was dated 8/4/21. And that's a picture that was done, that was another photograph of 6/7/22. And that is the notice and order that was issued. The applicant is here if you have questions of him.
I just have one quick question. Has a preliminary development plan been submitted as yet?
It has not as of yet. However, we have had conversations with the applicant. He is moving forward in trying to resolve this issue. We came up with a game plan, and he has moved forward and has been moving forward to try to accommodate that, to bring the property into compliance. So yes, we have met with the applicant, but as of yet, what we're doing is, instead of doing the site plan, he's joining the properties so that he has one property becomes the primary. And since, as you can see in the photograph, all he's using it for is staging or parking of vehicles. So he's going to pave that area as per town code. And the town code specifically states that if in a PAD, if it's not leasable area, which won't be, he's using it for his own use and parking, he doesn't have to submit that site plan as of yet. However, that just started today, and I think he actually went to the recorder's office to try to record that survey or that combination, and they gave him, they were saying something about they couldn't do it right away. It's not going to be able to be done until, I believe he said in September? Or
It's always in September, but today I received an email.
Oh.
Which showed number, I don't know if I'm completed or working on it, but I think it's email that they sent. Today was the start of it.
And so he is working on that, and he'd be happy to discuss that with you up here if you want.
So he's doing a lot tie, basically.
He's doing a lot, that's correct, yes.
But the nature of this appeal is challenging the process, is that right?
That is correct, and the notice and order that was issued as part of that process.
Which led to ultimately the decision by the hearing officer.
The
The
notice,
hearing officer and then the notice and order came after, yes. But he's ultimately challenging the decision of the hearing officer because it was a default judgment since he didn't appear on the date of the hearing.
that is correct. He's stating that he was there a day late.
Okay.
And as you can see, we did deliver the citation that clearly stated the time and frame, and we have that card that was delivered on 4/29/22 that was signed that it was delivered.
Have we any further questions from the board for Mr. Gonzalez?
I do have a few additional questions. So there was an initial inspection that was done by code enforcement, and that was on July 7th, 2021, is that right?
That is correct.
And then there was a notice of violation that was sent to the property owner, is that right?
That is correct.
And then there were follow-up inspections that were also conducted, is that right?
That is correct.
And during that time, were there any extensions that were given?
There were 2 extensions that were given.
and in spite of those efforts, the property still was not in compliance?
That is correct, up to the date that the citation was issued.
Thank
It
you.
wasn't until we wrote the notice and order. We have had conversations with them, but it wasn't until the notice and order was issued that we started moving forward to find a resolution.
Okay, thank you.
If there are no further questions for Mr. Gonzalez, the applicant is given the opportunity to address the board.
Thank you for your time, appreciate it. The reason I put in this, asking for this is, yes, I was late one day. I had the wrong date in my calendar for my chance to talk to a judge or whoever that was about my situation. And that's why I'm asking for you all to give me an opportunity. And really, the most important part, sorry about that.
Would you state your name for the record,
I'm
please?
sorry, J. Eby. And so I was looking for more time. Basically, the notice said I had to get all my stuff off or they were going to pull it, start towing it in 30 days, and that wasn't giving me enough time to get done what I had to get done. That's what I was asking for. And once I didn't make that meeting, then I was told I didn't have another chance to set up another chance to do that. So you all were my next opportunity to make that call. And my biggest honest concern, I'm just going to put out there, and this probably means not here nor there, everybody in my area, I will say, large and smallest company, from Amazon to Ace Hardware or whatever, take their vehicles and park along the roadways, in vacant lots, in right-of-ways. I chose to buy a piece of property and put my equipment on my property. And I've had, some challenges since then. And one of the biggest challenges I've got is, you're going to ask me to spend $1 million to pave a piece of property to hold trailers, and that's going to be very difficult for a company my size to do that. I mean, I've been working with Fernando, and Fernando's been great, I'll tell you, since I started to. He's been very accommodating. I've got no complaints with that. At first, I had some challenges getting a hold of people, but since I've been talking to Fernando, it's been fantastic, no problem. That's going to be challenging for me. Also, I struggle to decide. I'm an environmental company, and I've installed a natural gas station, the only one in northern Arizona to run by trucks. So the trucks in your town can drive on natural gas, clean energy, noise, less noise. But we're asking me to take a decent piece of dirt and pour oil all over it and put some paving that I don't think is necessary. I understand it's town code, and I'll do as the town asks me to do. But I will need some time to do that. Just getting the stormwater prevention plan, I think, is the next step that I'm working on right now. Takes some time. Even the engineers down in Phoenix are struggling to get enough human beings to do the work, so we're just behind. So anyway, I'm asking for your time and consideration, and I do appreciate your time and Fernando's also. And I guess I'm sorry. Is there a chance for me to know of, or at least leave it to my attorney or something, of the complainants so I could talk to them? Because everybody else in the neighborhood does what I think is a worse job, and I'm not sure why the complaint is directly at myself. And using my own property, not
I don't
somebody
think we
else's.
can really answer that question.
Sure.
But it looks like the nature of your appeal, though, is it's a procedural appeal. It's not appealing a substantive aspect of what the hearing officer determined. It's appealing the process.
Okay.
And that's how I am understanding the nature of the appeal that you submitted.
Okay.
It was indicating that there was an issue with the process.
The only thing I would ask on that is because I missed my hearing date, I would have asked for another hearing date before I got to this step. But it was on me. I was late. I had the wrong day on my calendar. That's all there is to it.
And that was the question that I had for you. It looks like,
Yeah.
based upon the certified mail, that
No, they were
that
right.
notice was delivered to your business
Absolutely.
prior to the
They
hearing.
didn't, they did not do wrong.
Okay.
I felt that getting the judgment after not having another chance to talk to some folks, because I just wanted to talk to people. I mean, I'm a member of the community. I'm happy to talk to people and try to work out whatever problem it is that everybody thinks there is. But I would like that opportunity to talk to whom the officer, get that opportunity. And I missed that opportunity. My fault. It's not anyone else's fault. But I would like that opportunity.
It does sound like now there is good communication
Absolutely.
between you and the members of the town.
Yeah, they're great. And I was having it early on. I wanted to toss in just a kudos to Pat Ruiz, who's here. He was very communicative during the process also, so I wanted you guys to know that.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
I open the item to comment from the public. Hearing no comment, the item is brought back to the board for closing discussion.
I do think in this case that there is indication from the testimony as well as our packet that the process was upheld in this case. There was a notice of violation that was sent to the property owner. There were follow-up inspections that were conducted. Extensions were given in order to achieve compliance. The property had remained in violation. A citation was issued. There was a hearing that was scheduled before the hearing officer that occurred on May 23rd, 2022. At that time, there was a default judgment because the applicant had not appeared at that time. So although he is appealing the process, it appears, based upon the information that I have, that the process was abided by and that the town did follow the correct process.
That is also my considered opinion, having prepared for the hearing. Procedure was followed by the town. Have we further comments?
I'd just like to say that I'd agree with what Bill was saying, and it clearly states in the citation that the recipient of the citation acknowledges that if he fails to appear as directed in the complaint, the allegations of the complaint shall be deemed admitted and a default judgment would be rendered at that time. So I think that procedure was followed.
I agree, and it seems like we've got some very cooperative people moving forward, so perhaps a solution that meets everybody's needs can eventually be done, but I agree that the process seems to have been followed in good order.
Hearing no further discussion, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to deny the appeal under item number 2, APL 22-001.
I second that motion and ask for a roll call vote.
Member Carson. Member Carson.
Yes.
Member Kunish.
Yes.
Member Evans.
Yes.
Chairperson Shimon.
Yes. Since all of our agenda items have been presented as outlined, I will open the meeting to further public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the board at this time? Hearing no public comment and having no further business, I'll accept a motion to adjourn, followed by a voice call vote.
Move we adjourn?
Second?
Member Carson.
Yes.
Member Kunish.
Yes.
Member Evans.
Yes.
Chairperson Shimon.
Yes. The August 22nd, 2022 Board of Adjustment meeting for the Town of Prescott Valley is adjourned.